Good evening, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for February 10, 2024. And in the news this evening, promoter killed in confrontation with the police, Indicom launches probe. A man is dead and a firearm seized following an alleged shootout between a gunman and the police at the Mexico Heights in Trenchtown, Kingston on Thursday night. The dead man has been identified as 22-year-old Orit Robinson, otherwise called Ash, a promoter from Phase 7 in Arnett Gardens. The Independent Commission of Investigations has launched a probe into the incident. Reports reaching the news are that around 10:20 p.m., a police team was on foot patrol in the area when they observed a group of men standing along a pathway, acting in a manner that aroused the suspicion. The police reportedly called out to them, and one of the men pulled a firearm from the waist of his pants and opened fire at the team. The cops took evasive action and returned the gunfire at the man. After the shooting subsided, the said man was seen lying on the ground, suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds and clutching a firearm in his right hand, the police said. The firearm was retrieved and it turned out to be a 9mm pistol with a magazine attached containing one round and another round in the breech. The make and the serial number of the firearm were not visible. The injured man was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital, where he was pronounced dead, the police said. Cops identify Clarendon double murder victims. Police have identified the two men who were shot dead at the Trout Hall in Frankfield, Clarendon on Friday. They are 55-year-old Donald Richards, otherwise called Mackie, an auto body repairman, and Williams Sharp, 38, a construction worker. Both were from Trout Hall. An elderly man said to be about 70 years old was also injured in the shooting, the police said. Reports are that all three men were at a garage in the community when two white motorcars, one believed to be an Axio, drove up to the location and the occupants opened gunfire at them. The now deceased were hit all over their bodies and the now injured man shot in the shoulder. Richards, the police said, died on the spot, while Sharp and the elderly man were transported to hospital, where Sharp was pronounced dead. The injured man was stabilized and transferred to another hospital, the police said. Two cops injured as a prisoner escapes custody at Morgan's Bridge. Two police officers assigned to the Morgan's Bridge police station in Greenchill, Westmoreland, received injuries when a 17-year-old escapee eluded them on Friday night. He has been identified as Denato Brown of Big Bridge in the parish. It is unclear what offenses Brown was picked up for, but the news understands that the teen is still at large. Reports from the police are that on Friday night, two officers were on station guard duty, and when one of the officers was in the process of removing a male from the cell, Brown and the two other prisoners pushed the man onto one of the lawmen, causing him to fall to the ground. In that moment, Brown took the opportunity to escape. He ran out of the cell, made his way up a flight of stairs at the station that leads to the upper floor of the building before making his escape over a fence at the back of the station. Two other prisoners who also attempted to flee during the melee were caught by the officers. They were subsequently returned to their cells. The incident has left one district constable nursing injuries to his back and right side of his eye. Meanwhile, the other officer received injuries to his right wrist. The police said a search of the area was conducted by the patrol team, however Brown was not spotted. Investigations are ongoing. Cops charge a man following Trenchtown murder probe. Swift action by detectives at the Kingston Western CIB resulted in the arrest and the charge of a suspect 1 week after a murder. Charged with murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and making use of a firearm to commit a felony is Daquan Scott, 24, from Hill Crescent, Kingston 7. Scott is charged with the killing of 24-year-old Mark French from Easter Road in Kingston 12. French was shot dead near Culture Yard on 1st Street in Trenchtown on January 31. Reports are that around 10:45 p.m., French was standing at the location when he was approached by three men, all armed with firearms. The men, police said, opened fire at the now deceased, hitting him several times. Scott fell to the ground and the men fled and escaped into the area. Police who rushed to the scene took Scott to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors pronounced him dead. Following investigations, detectives held Scott and charged him on Wednesday based on witness statements and after he was positively identified on an identification parade. Second person charged in killing of Westmoreland 19-year-old. Detectives assigned to the Westmoreland Police Division have arrested and charged a second man with the murder of 19-year-old Enrico Chambers, otherwise called Rico, who was killed in Johnson Bush in the parish on January 18. He is 30-year-old Giovanni Bacchus of Johnson Bush Top Road, Little London in Westmoreland. His co-accused, the 18-year-old Wade Dennis, was charged on January 29. The police say about 9 a.m. on January 18, all three men had a verbal dispute when Dennis and Bacchus threatened the Chambers before leaving. The police say they returned shortly after, armed with machetes. They allegedly chased the Chambers and chopped him multiple times. He was taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The police later apprehended Dennis at a premises at Top Road, Little London. On January 29, Bacchus turned himself into the police and was charged on Friday. 41-year-old man charged with rape of 14-year-old girl. 41-year-old Tyrone Cooper, otherwise called Bigo, of Cudjoe's Hill, Point Hill in St. Catherine, was arrested and charged for allegedly raping a 14-year-old girl. He is charged with 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of sexual touching of a child, and a grievous sexual assault. The police say Cooper raped the minor on 2 separate occasions in 2022. The matter was reported to the police, and on Thursday, Cooper was in the Kingston area where he was accosted and placed in custody and subsequently charged. He is to appear before the St. Catherine Parish Court on February 16. Man suspected of fatally shooting another over apples surrenders. A suspect who was being sought by the police for the shooting death of a man in St. Mary on Thursday morning is now in custody. Investigators said that the man surrendered on Thursday evening and that a house belonging to him was also searched, resulting in the recovery of an illegal firearm and approximately 30 rounds of ammunition. The suspect is to be questioned about the shooting death of Ryan Prendergast of Belfield, Penn. Prendergast was killed after he and another man reportedly picked apples from a property in the community. As they were leaving, they were allegedly confronted by a man who claimed that he had leased the land and questioned them about the apples. The police said that the suspect reportedly pulled a firearm from his waistband and opened fire in the direction of the men, hitting Prendergast in the upper body. Prendergast was pronounced dead at the scene, however, the other man managed to escape. Senator Webby defends a move to give ECJ ombudsman duties. Government Senator Don Webby on Friday declared his support for a move to transfer the functions of the now-defunct Office of the Political Ombudsman to the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. The senator, who is also a leading member of the private sector, indicated his position while he contributed to the debate on a bill in the Senate on Friday, which paves the way for the subsuming of the Political Ombudsman Office into the ECJ. Webby noted that the concerns raised in the past, even by a former political ombudsman, is that the office lacked teeth. He said it is his opinion that the ECJ will be much more equipped to deal with the breaches of the Code of Conduct, and the consideration should be given to empowering the ECJ to impose sanctions for the breaches. Mr. President, it appears that the main contention of the other side is that there is a risk that the Electoral Commission of Jamaica's members' impartiality and probity could diminish if it executes the functions of the political ombudsman. I believe this bill addresses one of the main concerns that has surfaced over the years, that is, the vesting of the powers and the duties of the ombudsman is a single individual, Senator Webby told the upper house. Webby says that the public must have confidence in the office, starting with how it is structured. He argued that transferring the functions of the ombudsman from a single person to a body of individuals is preferable to engender trust. I noted the opposition's proposal to appoint 3 eminent individuals to act as the ombudsman. However, when I consider the composition of the Electoral Commission, the commissioners are of the highest level of eminence. So I have to disagree with the opposition's suggested approach about 3 eminent individuals. The Commission is more than adequately resourced to ensure the office of the political ombudsman is effectively administered, Webby said. The senator said he noted similarities between the mandate of the ECJ and the former office of the political ombudsman. I looked at the vision of the office of the political ombudsman. I'll read an extract of it. This office will be steadfast in ensuring that political representatives, those aspiring to political office, and the constituents enjoy a fair and just electoral process as well as wholesome representation. Then I considered the vision of the Electoral Commission. I'll refer to an extract of the vision. To vigorously promote the principles of fairness, accountability, and good governance, and ensure that elections are conducted in accordance with the law, thereby giving effect to the will of the people. Having considered the vision of both, it is clear to me that both institutions are striving to achieve the same outcome, Webby said. In defending the move to approve the bill, Webby said that he sees being proposed by the draft legislation is not a conflict of roles, but a bringing together of 2 roles that complement each other, the role of the ECJ and the political ombudsman. He told the Parliament that he agrees that the ECJ commissioners are fully capable to carry out the functions of the ombudsman in an impartial and competent manner. The bill was approved with 8 government senators voting in favor of its passage and 7 opposition members voting against it.